Okay, Jordan and Evie here. We're here to do a review on the Marvel's Avengers playing cards. These may have been out for a little while, maybe, Evie, I don't know, but we just got them. We love them. We love playing cards. We obviously love Marvel Comics, and we are going to try to go through this quick because the other reviews we've seen online have been very long and boring, and they haven't actually hit some of the detail that we wanted to point out for Marvel fans out there. So Evie's got the front of the box here, great Infinity War Saga representation. You can see the different logos, the different icons, and on the back, wonderful design put together here. Also a little bit of representation of Doctor Strange and the movies that he was in as well. So let's pull some cards out and look at them, comment on some of the design here. We've got Evie pulling out the deck. We just wanted to go through a few things. We got a couple of ad cards. Actually, show what's on the front of those ad cards. That's a good shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy. You've got Groot and Rocket there at the top. They get their own little appearance, and then Nebula and Drax. It's not Nebula? Who's that on the left?
No, that's Falcon and War Machine.
Oh, Falcon and War Machine. You're right. Where's the other Guardians of the Galaxy? We need to see them. Maybe they'll be in the deck here. Okay. And then there's the design in the back. Not quite as fancy as the box, but still a very similar design. Okay, let's take a look. So the number cards aren't quite as snazzy, but if I zoom in here, it's a little blurry, but you can see there is a little bit of extra detail on the design. The font, as you can see, is a little bit thin. For me, being old, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the numbers and the letters when you're a little farther across the table, but still very different, very cool. I like the extra detail in the design there. Okay, first off, out of the gate, your Joker, the Marvel Joker, the King of Mischief. It is Loki, and that's a great representation of Loki as the Joker. Tribute to the series. The next Joker, though, is not as much of what I would think of as a Joker, more of a warlord, but still nice to see Thanos in the deck. Jokers are also representative by villains, so that makes sense. Probably could have given them a little bit better placement, though, in the cards. Okay, Ace of Hearts. Now, a lot of the reviews we saw did not notice the item in the center here. Evie, why don't you tell us what you picked out from that item there?
So I picked out that in the middle of the heart here, this is the knife that Thanos gives Gamora when he is killing the people from her planet so he can distract her.
Yep, and then that's when he was basically adopting her.
Yes.
And also later in the movie Saga, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen, but everybody in the world has seen it, Gamora tries to kill Thanos
with this knife.
Actually thinks she does, but then when he has the Reality Stone, so he's fooling her. But that is kind of a nice juxtaposition there of love being a gift and then also being a weapon.
Yes. And then we have the Ace of Clubs, which is upside down.
That's okay. Nobody caught this either. I think I was the one that discovered this. If you look at the design, it looks a little bit like armor. Looks like black armor. A star in there, oftentimes representation of Russia. Who would that be representing, you think, Evie? What's your hunch?
The Winter Soldier, probably.
Winter Soldier.
His arm.
That definitely looks like a Winter Soldier shout out to me. So not a lot of reviews have pointed that out.
And then we have the Ace of Diamonds, which kind of threw us off. We had to think about it for a little bit.
Zoom it in.
But what I think it is, I personally think that this right here is the mountain that on Vormir where the Soul Stone is. And I know that the diamonds are usually red, but I feel like this red could also represent the Red Skull, who was the person who is the keeper of the Soul Stone.
You know what else? When you zoom out, it looks like it's actually the Red Skull in his black cloak, standing there greeting the people that come to Vormir. But then when you zoom in, it definitely looks like it could be Vormir, the mountain, itself that they throw Black Widow and Gamora off of to receive the Soul Stone. So nobody has confirmed this for us. If you're out there on the internet and you know for sure, maybe you're the creator of the deck, please tell us if our hunch is right. We could not find that out, and that's actually what drove us to making this video.
The Ace of Spades, which is probably one of the coolest ones. It represents Doctor Strange, and it has all his like accessories and his like power design. It has the Eye of Dormammu in the middle that he wears around his neck.
This also looks like it could be the window that's in the Sanctum of Sanctorium, where Doctor Strange lives in New York. Mm-hmm. That's a cool one. That's one of my favorite ones. Yep.
Yeah.
Ace of Spades is always cool in every deck. This is a Marvel Ace of Spades, even cooler.
And then we have the King of Spades, which is Captain America. We have his shield here and a mix of his suits since he has multiple in the movies. And then we have Thor's hammer, which I'm personally fine with it being there.
Yeah, it's an Infinity War deck, so it kind of makes sense. It's not.
but he got it in Endgame.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet part of the movie, but not your classic Cap. Also, I think I would have made him the King of Diamonds because red seems to be more cognizant of America. Black, I don't think with Black and Captain America as much, but still cool card.
Yeah. And then we have the King of Clubs, which is Thor, and that is one of my personal favorite characters, especially because Chris Hemsworth plays him, and I'm a huge fan of Chris Hemsworth.
Every lady is, yes. This does not really look like Thor, though. It looks a little bit like an older Thor, almost like his dad. But you're right, it definitely is Thor. And what weapons is he showing here?
So he has Mjolnir right here, and then he has Stormbreaker, which is the axe he gets in Infinity War, which I think that's a good touch to put in.
Yep.
And then he also has his helmet on from Thor Ragnarok, which is one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah, very good representation of all the Thors. And I do like that he's the King of Clubs because oftentimes a club and a hammer can be synonymous. So it makes sense.
And then we have the King of Hearts, which is Iron Man.
My favorite. Definitely would have picked Iron Man for the King of Hearts. So good job, Marvel, and the creators of this deck. He is also the Suicide King, which in a way it's showing in how he sacrificed his life. I wouldn't call it suicide. Maybe we'll call him the Sacrifice King. But he sacrificed his life with the gauntlet, and you can see it's symboling the gauntlet is actually what is killing him. And then he's also got, what are you pointing out there?
This is the gauntlet representation.
Yeah, the gauntlet, but he's also got the hand that's the gauntlet that's killing him too. So you got a little bit of both. Yep, I gotcha. Definitely good Iron Man though. Good pick, good color scheme, good design. Makes sense.
Yes. And then we have the King of Diamonds, which is Black Panther.
See, now, does this not just, you got to switch it, right? You think Black Panther would be the King of Spades because he's Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
And then Captain America would be the King of Diamonds with the red. I think that should have been a switch. That was a miss there. If you do a reprint of the deck, please take our advice or comments, but definitely still cool looking Black Panther.
Yeah. And then the Queen of Hearts, which is another one of my favorite characters, which is Captain Marvel. They represented her suit well. I like how they have like her power showing around her hands and how they showed her mohawk with the helmet on. Lots of representation on there of her. There's lots of detail, and this is one of my favorite cards for sure.
She looks tough with the mask on too. I like that. It's a good touch.
And then we have the Queen of Diamonds, which is Scarlet Witch, and also showing the power around her hands. And if you zoom in here,
yep, I got it.
That is the Wasp.
A little call out, shout out to the Wasp. Hello, Wasp.
So if you have this deck and you didn't realize that before, the Wasp is on this card.
It makes sense. We got some Avengers, Scarlet Witch, and the Wasp teaming up.
Yeah.
Queen of Diamonds. Got it.
And then we have the Queen of Clubs, which is Black Widow.
Black Widow. Black makes sense. I would have put her on the Queen of Spades. Just me. I think of Spades and Widows a little bit more together than clubs, but definitely you can tell it's the Black Widow. Makes sense being on the black card, and she is the queen.
Yes. Very good representation on her lightning rods. I like the detail on those.
I like the little widow emblem on the middle of her belt buckle.
Yeah, right here.
That, yeah.
And then we have the Queen of Spades, which is Valkyrie from Thor
Not
Ragnarok.
Gamora.
It's not Gamora, it's Valkyrie.
There, whoever you did the review, that is not Gamora.
It is
Definitely
Valkyrie.
Yeah. You can tell by the weapons, too.
Yeah, the weapons. This is her knife that she uses in the battle. And I, at first, also thought it was Gamora until I saw her eyes right here. And the symbol right here is the paints she has on her eyes in the movie.
In Ragnarok.
In Ragnarok.
Yep. Good call. Yep. You know your stuff, girl.
And then we have the Jack of Diamonds,
Ooh.
which is Hulk, and he has the helmet on from Thor Ragnarok as well, and his axe from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think, not your classic Avenger Thor, or Hulk, but it's the Ragnarok Hulk for sure. Does play well with the Jack, with the axe being there. I think the Jacks in typical decks have swords or some sort of weapon, so kind of makes sense, but I do a little bit miss the actual true Hulk of the Avengers, but still a cool card.
And then we have the Jack of Clubs, which is Star-Lord or Peter Quill. He has his gun right here, which is, I like the detail on that. And then his helmet as well. I like how they have his mask on, which is a
Did
good
you notice what else he's holding there in his other hand?
He's holding the music.
The Walkman.
Yeah,
you don't know what that is, but that's pretty cool that they got the Walkman in there too. That's a cool touch. I like that card. That's one of my favorites, I think.
And then we have the Jack of Hearts, which is Spider-Man.
Gotta get Spider-Man in there. Love that they got him in the Avenger deck. Not who you'd think of as one of the Avengers, but he is. He is
an Avenger.
And we love him in the movies. He does a great job. Shout out to Tom Holland if you're watching this, Tom. We love you as Spider-Man. Keep up the good work.
I also like how there's like this webbing to the heart.
Yeah,
that's also
nice
really cool.
Very cool call out. Good job. Yep. Great card.
And then we have the final one, which is the Jack of Spades, and this is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye and Ronin Hawkeye. This has got a lot of detail. Who else is on this card? I see somebody else. Flip it over.
So on this side, on his bow right here, this is Ant-Man. So if you have these cards and you didn't see this before, quick shout out to Ant-Man, who is also on this card, who didn't make it as a bigger picture.
Yeah, probably could have gave him a bigger card maybe, but you know
he's
what?
A pretty big part.
He does have a small part though too, because he is
small.
Tiny. So it makes sense. I do like the multifaceted Hawkeye with the Ronin sword. That has a big part in the series Hawkeye on the Disney Plus channel. Hawkeye needs his own card. He's definitely a true Avenger, and he's been through a lot with the Avengers. He doesn't get as much spotlight as he probably deserves. So this is a cool card. Really good. Good review. Thanks everybody if you're still watching. And if you do know what this is and you want to comment or DM us, this is the only one that we were struggling with. We think it's Vormir. We think it's the mountain where they throw Black Widow and Gamora off of to get the Soul Stone. It does from farther away look like it could be kind of Red Skull in the cloak too, so it's got a dual meaning. Same meaning, dual way of getting there, but we're stumped on this one. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you'll have some more Marvel reviews from Evie and Jordan coming up soon.